A Roblox shop has about 3 seconds to do its job. 3 seconds to grab your attention, 3 seconds to make an item feel valuable, 3 seconds before the player closes the shop and goes back to jumping around. So, today we're building a Roblox shop from scratch. But not just any shop. This shop is being engineered using actual psychology principles. Big fancy words, juicy buttons, limited items, mystery, progress bars, and even some evil pet sympathy. And just enough
Wait. I kinda want that.
to make the player's brain start negotiating with itself. The goal is super simple. Build a shop that doesn't just show items, it makes the player care about them. Not in an evil way, mostly. Before building anything, we need to answer one question. What actually makes a good Roblox shop? Because a bad shop is not always ugly. Sometimes it has nice icons, clean colors, but it still feels completely dead. The real difference is attention. A good shop knows exactly where your eyes should go first. Knows which items should feel rare, and we're not to overwhelm your tiny little Roblox pea-brain with 400 buttons shown to you at once. So, to figure this out, we're going undercover. We're going into 2 reference games, studying their shops and stealing from the top manipulators on the platform. DMCA free, of course. The most popular Roblox shop ever. Sim 99. I opened it and immediately, there's one thing that this shop gets right. Clarity. You instantly understand what's happening. There are categories, there are clean item cards, the prices are so easy to see, the buttons are obvious, no one has to sit there and read enchantment table. This is called processing fluency. Fancy psychology term for if something is easy to understand, people trust it more and they enjoy it. And in Roblox, this is huge. Because if the player opens a shop and feels confused, they don't think, wow, what a deep, complex economy. They think, where the hell is the exit button? So, lesson number 1, the shop needs to be readable instantly. Not after 5 seconds, not after the tutorial. Instantly. Players should know what's for sale, what does it cost, what does it even do, and where do they click. Because a lot of times confusion kills a lot of interest, even all of it. The second game reference does something a little different. This shop doesn't just show items, it creates a main character. One item is bigger, one item is brighter, one item has better effects, better placement, and that magical Roblox glow that says, look at me, I'm probably very overpriced. That's called the Von Restore effect, which means the thing that stands out is the thing that people remember the most. If every item looks equally important, then nothing really feels important. But the moment one item gets a special border or a bigger preview, animated glows, the brain locks onto it. And it's not just an item anymore, it's the item. So lesson number 2 learned from these shops. Every shop needs a spotlight. One featured reward, one shiny temptation, one thing the player notices before everything else. Not because it's necessarily the best item in the shop, but because the design said so. And sadly, our brains are embarrassingly easy to boss around, especially those dumb little YouTube short kids. So now we have the blueprints. The shop needs 5 things. First on the list, clarity. The player needs to understand the shop right away. Second, focus. One item needs to stand out from all the others. Third, satisfying buttons, because tiny weak buttons are a crime against game design. That's where the Fitz law comes in. Fitz law basically says bigger, easier target, or faster and way more satisfying to click. Basically common sense. In Roblox terms, make the important buttons super sexy. Fourth is curiosity. Locked items, mystery rewards, silhouettes, future promises. That's the curiosity gap that the shop needs. The brain hates missing information. Show someone a blacked out reward frame and suddenly they have to know what the hell that is, even if they were perfectly happy like 2 seconds ago. And lastly, progress. Players need to feel like they're moving towards something. That's called the goal gradient effect. The closer someone feels to a reward, the more motivated they become. A progress bar at 20% is information, but a progress bar at 85% is emotional warfare. So the mission is clear. Build a shop that is easy to understand, hard to ignore, satisfying to click, and slightly dangerous to the human brain. Perfect. Building the shop. First step is the layout. A Roblox shop shouldn't look like a tax form. It should almost feel like a mini store inside the game. So the screen gets divided into clear zones. Scroll on the one side, items in the middle, featured rewards at the top, and the buy buttons placed exactly where the eye naturally lands. This is where Higgs law matters. Higgs law says the more choices you give to someone, the longer they take to decide. So instead of throwing every item in the player's face at once, bam 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 bam, the shop gets split into sections. Boosts, skins, game passes, bundles. Now the player isn't overwhelmed, they're guided. Luckily, Roblox has a thing called a scrolling frame, which makes this logic pretty easy to implement. And good UI is basically just invisible hand holding. Next come the rule cards. Each card needs to answer 3 questions immediately. What is it? Why should I care? And how do I even get it? That means clear icons, short names, obvious prices, and rarity colors that instantly tell the player what feels common, rare, legendary, or even suspiciously expensive. Then comes the featured item. This is where the shop gets its attention magnet. The featured item gets a bigger card, it has a little time limit, and super OP rewards. Everything about it says, this one matters. That's a Volgerstorff effect doing its job. No speech needed, no giant paragraphs, just visual hierarchy. The player's eyes go there because the design tells them to. Then comes the button. The buy button needs weight. They all need to look clickable before they even click, so it becomes bigger, brighter, and just more physical. When the player hovers over it, it reacts. When they click it, it presses down. Not because it has to, because feedback makes actions feel real. A dead button feels like a flippin' website, but a responsive button feels like a game. And a shop inside a game should still feel like part of the game. Now for the dangerous part. Mystery. Just one game pass that's locked. 1 out of 5. What does this mean, you ask? I don't know, it's just a text label. But it's nothing too much, just enough. Silhouette. Something that the player can see but not fully understand yet. That creates a curiosity gap. The brain sees missing information and immediately wants to close that loop. It's the same reason people click, I opened 100 crates and got this, for example. You don't care, but also, what did he get? Exactly. Finally, the purchase moment. This is where the shops waste their best opportunity. Usually in Roblox, when the player buys something, all they get is a tiny little success message. That's boring. It literally feels like paying a parking ticket. Come on. So, the purchase needs a little celebration. Like the item pops onto the screen, the background flashes, reward shines, button reacts, maybe there's a quick little sound effect. Nothing too long, nothing annoying. Just enough to make the player feel like something actually happened. This is the peak end rule. People actually remember the most intense moments and the final feeling. So, if the final feeling is satisfying, the whole shop feels better. Basically, don't let the reward arrive quietly. Let it literally enter the room. The first thing you notice is the featured item. That's intentional. The second thing you notice is that everything is super easy to understand. That's also intentional. These categories reduce a lot of clutter. The item codes explain themselves, the buttons are big and juicy, satisfying as well. The locked hidden reward creates curiosity. The cat progress section gives players something to work towards. Let me show you guys how the cat works. You buy Robux and it adds into this bar. You know, the bar gradient, we learned about it earlier, blah blah blah. It's just something to work towards, like we said. Plus, the purchase animation gives the whole thing a real, proper ending. Now, this is the difference between a shop that simply exists and a shop that actually pulls the player in. Because a great Roblox shop doesn't ask, it literally tells. So here's a full manipulation, whatever you want to call it, recipe. Processing fluency makes a shop easy to understand. Higgs law keeps the player from getting overwhelmed by too many choices at once. Fitz law makes the important buttons big and satisfying. The von Restolf effect makes a featured item stand out. Curiosity gap makes the locked rewards and mystery items more tempting. They sit at the back of your mind for long. The goal gradient effect makes progress bars players feel motivating, like the little cat thingy we did. And the peak end rule makes the final reward moment more memorable. Makes you feel like you need to see that effect again. So, did we actually build the perfect Roblox shop? Probably not. But we did build a shop that understands attention. It guides the player's eyes, it makes rewards feel more valuable, and it turns a basic shop menu into a little mini game with this cat thing, and it actually feels part of the game. Which means the experiment worked. This isn't just a shop, it's a tiny psychological trap with some buy buttons. A super friendly shop, mostly. Now, the only thing left to do is test it on real players. Because if nobody buys anything, then psychology is fake, Roblox players are evolving, and I'm staying broke. One of the best techniques is clicking the subscribe button. Please.